Hey everyone, so I'm here to talk about my book Two Minds. If you didn't know, yes, I wrote a book and it's called Two Minds. This is it. I'm so excited. Two Minds took me 3 years to write, so it was a bit of a long haul, but I'm so excited that it has come out. I'm doing this video a bit late because it did get released the end of last year. I wanted to do a video about it anyway. So if you didn't know, I'm a writer. This is my first book that I've published, but I do write on my blog, which I'll link below. Now, this book is a novella. I did set out for it to be a novel, but it ended up just falling short of the word count of a novel, and it was too long for a short story, so a novella is what it is. So basically what it's about, without giving too much away, I will tell you that it is a thriller. It's a romantic thriller, in fact, and it does base around mental health. It is 28,000 words long, and that does sound like a lot, but as you can see, it's not that thick. And I thought I would read a chapter to you out of my book so you can have a little bit of an idea what it's about and if you would want to read it. First of all, I'm going to read you the introduction, which explains a bit of why I chose to write this book in the first place. When I started to write this book, I had not set out to be a writer and I had not set out to write a book. I kind of always had the idea in my head of writing as something I would like to do. I'll read you the introduction so you can understand a little bit more about why I started writing this book. So 3 years ago, I found myself sitting in a nursing class, pondering on life and wondering what I was really doing there. I had gained some knowledge on different disorders and mental conditions within my classes. With my laptop open and my lecturer talking in the background, the idea of writing this book was born. I had always been a descriptive person with a big imagination, yet the idea of writing a book had never occurred to me. It kind of just naturally grew from there. While this book is a work of fiction, I have drawn from different experiences in my own life and intertwined them throughout the story. I hope you enjoy my little creation. I certainly look forward to writing many more books in the future. Okay, so chapter 1. Each chapter is a different person. For the most part of the book, there's only 2 people that it goes back and forth from. So chapter 1 is from Lizzie's point of view. They say that you show one side of yourself to people you see from day to day, another to people you trust, and another that you only see yourself. I have always found myself lost in the complexity of emotions, how a simple feeling caused by a multitude of different emotions such as love, loss, anxiety, hurt, and anger can manipulate itself to go from nothing to exploding into a very large, unfathomable state that can just overwhelm a person to the state of inexpression, depression, and everything in between. One look can change everything. I don't have many memories of my childhood before being in foster care. I have a vague memory of being someone's daughter, someone's something, and after that I only remember being bounced around from home to home. No one ever really wanting me, no one ever claiming me as their own. I guess when they found out about my condition, it was too much of a mess to deal with, so whoever birthed me thought they would send me off to a bunch of government funding sucking drug addicts. Who was I to have any part in the decision? I was barely more than a fetus, right? An insignificant fetus with no input. The homes they placed me in would always last about a month before something happened. As a teenager, it was often the man who was supposed to be a father figure to me ended up being a sleazy pig who would either try to start something with me or hurt me in one way or another. And of course, the wife would throw me out like some hussy. Like it was my fault their scum husband tried to rape a defenseless child. How could they really think it was my fault? The abuse was always there. If it wasn't sexual, it was physical or emotional. I wish someone really would have wanted me for me, appreciated or cherished me for who I was, not just for the pension funding. Yet, once I turned 18, I finally was able to get out of that hellhole and into society. The only bad habit I took up was smoking pot. Well, apart from that, I picked up a bunch of emotional baggage and daddy issues. I had mummy issues to that too. Things had been going really well apart from that. It was summer of 2013, I had a job and a roommate and had a good group of friends. Oh, before I go on, my name is Lizzie and this is my story. It's all kind of effed up, so read ahead at your own discretion. As my feet hit the ground with each step, the wind whipped my mid-length blonde curls against my back. My heart raced, pounding within my chest. Everything flashed in front of me in slow motion. and then all of a sudden everything whipped back into view and I was running for my life. Lizzie, stop running. The longer you run, the more tired you'll become. I'll end up catching you anyway. As my breath caught in my throat, I felt my legs starting to slow me down, one muscle at a time. As my stride changed to a soft jog, I heard footsteps matching my pace. Suddenly, I was pulled to a stop as he gripped the back of my shirt. Lizzie, you cannot keep getting high for free. You owe me, man. Sam held a blunt knife to my throat as he pushed me into a brick wall. People walked past not saying anything. This was a town where things like this happen regularly, the norm. Okay, but you know I only have enough money to scrape by as it is, and you just won't let up. I pulled away from the knife, releasing the dent it was making in my neck. Hey, that's not my problem. You either come up with the money or you start sleeping with the dealer. The thought sickened me. Now, look at me with those big blue eyes and promise me you will get me that money before I have time to change my mind and end up doing something unspeakable to that body of yours, he said as he forced his hand up my top. And trust me, it won't look the same once I do. Okay, I know. I'll get it as soon as possible, I promise. I managed to spit the words out through harsh breathing. As Sam let go, I sprinted off to the car and drove home. So that is the first chapter. I think I'm going to do kind of an interview type thing with myself, just so that you guys can know a bit more about me and a bit more about the book. What inspired you to write Two Minds? So what inspired me to write Two Minds was, as I said in the introduction, sitting in nursing class and mental health really intrigued me. I thought that if I would actually be a nurse, I would specialise in mental health. And learning about different disorders in general really intrigued me. I'm not going to say too much more into this particular mental disorder because you'll have to read it to find out. Are there any more books coming? Yes, there are quite a few more books coming. Currently I'm working on 2. I've actually written the outlines for about 5 books. But I am constantly working on 2 of them at the moment. I have been posting chapter by chapter of each of them to my blog if you want to read them as I write them. They are rough copies because they're unedited and everything. If you want to start reading them, you can head over to my blog. Now, what kind of background do you have in writing? So as for writing, I started off as a child kind of writing really descriptive stories in school, and my teachers would always compliment me on my descriptiveness. And I just love storytelling in general, and I love reading, so it kind of always naturally came to me. What else have you written? So as for what I'm writing now, I'm currently writing 2 other books. As I said before, I've written Two Minds and I keep a blog. I do submit articles as well, often to publishers and things like that. I did also, which is kind of exciting news, start up a magazine called KBS Magazine. This magazine was started with the intention of combining my writing to my beauty business, KBS Cosmetics. So this is the first issue. I'll also post a link down below where you can get that. But I write lots of the articles myself and I interview everyone in the magazine. I do have other writers submit work as well and photographers. So I'll just do a quick flip through. There's the editor's letter, the first page, and the team. There's an article I have written. People submit photography. And there's an article by another writer and more photography. So it's kind of, the magazine is very much based around art, interviews, lifestyle, beauty, politics. Yes, some fitness in the first one too, some interviews. Second issue is due out this Tuesday, which is the 12th of December. So I'll put the links down to both of those in the description. Where can I buy Two Minds? So you can buy Two Minds. I'll link the description down below, but I self-published it through Smashwords. If a publishing house comes to me and wants to publish it and I like their other books, then I'm happy to do that. But for now, that is where it's published, and I think that is all. So I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching my video about my book Two Minds.